Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some Hey, yo, Jay.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. Plus a family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead. Watch out, set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare to my line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. Better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
Chemically, we got the remedy. College and Giants, selling the shit we buying it. Green. Okay. We about it. But God did it. You ain't about it. But God did it. I'ma get it.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace. You gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted, and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. About my chicken and its rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. You gon' see the...
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. Guys, sorry I was a little bit late to that intro. It was for good reason. I was texting our boy Crypto Billy. He just answered me back. Give me 1 second. Okay, good thing I checked that. But guys, don't forget to check out Billy Goat Tales on X tonight at 9 o'clock. Thank God he answered me in time, so I got that time correct. At 9 p.m., I am going to be hopping on. I believe I will be hopping on tonight, so it's going to be super, super cool. So shout out to Crypto Billy, and don't forget to set those reminders on X or Twitter. I can't not call it Twitter, guys. But thank you all for tuning in to tonight's live stream, guys. We got an amazing show for you tonight. We're going to be breaking down Bitcoin, talking about the next likely place this thing is likely to go. Are we going to get a pump to the upside? I know a lot of people are looking for that potential high to get broken, pushing us up to that $50,000 level, but can we get there? Or is it more probable to turn back around? I know a lot of people are looking at a bear flag on the daily. We're going to take a look at it. Is it bearish? Is it bullish? Are we going to lower prices? Are we going to higher prices? And in today's live stream, I'm going to give you guys those top targets to the upside and the downside, and then I'm going to give you guys kind of where I'm leaning, whether I think we will get that move up or down, and what is more probable when we take a look at the TA. So smash that like button, Mafia. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure. The more spins, the more wins, the more free stuff for you guys, and we will be giving away $500 of Cardano, or Cardanzo, as our boy James Kramer might call it. We're giving away $500 in Cardano, guys, and we will be doing that on Friday, so smash up that like button if you like free crypto and free Frankie Candles hats, which this is not. This is the Bing Bong hat. I don't have any Frankie Candles hats here. But, guys, before we jump into the TA, let's go ahead and say what's up to chat. Who do we got in here? We got Jay Anthony says, bada bing, bada boom. What is going on, Jay Anthony? I actually used to know a guy named Jay Anthony. All right. Hey, you're not from Long Island, are you, bro? Let me know. Shout out to Jay Anthony. But yeah, we got FOMO Sapien in the chat. Absolute OG of the channel. What is up, FOMO Sapien? Thank you for tuning in. We got Elite Ways AZ. We got Moon Boot Boy. What is going on? Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here. We got Descent in the chat. We got Wick's wife, Fine89, which you know what that means. That means that Wick is probably in the chat too. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us tonight. We got Crypto Sammy in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. He says, yo, Frankie. Yo, Sammy, what's going on, bro? Good to see you in here. Thank you for tuning in. We got, he says, VeChain, baby. Let's go. Shout out to VeChain, official sponsor of the UFC. Shout out to Dave Digital. What is going on, bro? Said, no hats. You could borrow mine. Shout out to Dave Digital. I guess you did get your Frankie Candles hat and my handwritten message. I didn't see last night if you got my handwritten message, but hopefully you did, bro. Don't make fun of my handwriting. Shout out to Dave Digital. We got Crypto Billy, Tyler Durden, Chemistry Bro, Crypto Anon, D Petty Crypto, Captain Kirk, Tony D. You guys know who the mods are. Did I say Chemistry Bro? I always miss one or two of them, but shout out to them. Show them some love in chat, guys. They help us out so much with this YouTube channel, and we'd be lost without them. And shout out to Darren Does Things, checking in. What is going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Crimson Caravan Company, what is going on? And last but not least, we got Mark Dutch, Wayne C., and 12 Big in the chat. Shout out to Poor Man Joe, too. We're going to turn you into Rich Man Joe, hopefully by the end of the live stream. And without further ado, guys, I think that's about it. I feel like I have some announcements or something. No, I think we're good, guys. I am feeling a bit better from yesterday. Thank God. I think I finally kicked that sickness. But thank you all for tuning in. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into that TA and try to figure out what this crazy thing Bitcoin is going to do. And shout out, guys, while we take a look at these charts, shout out to, give me 1 second here. I forget the name. The name is Ryan. Hold up. Ryan, I think his name on Twitter was Mick Long last name. Shout out to you, bro. He asked to see an altcoin on Twitter, and I said, hey, bro, come stop by the live stream, and we'll take a look at it. I think it's on the list. I think the mods have the coin. If you're in here, bro, let us know so we can shout you out and take a look at that altcoin when we get to that altcoin section of the live stream. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead. Down with the sickness. Shout out to the other TJ. It says down with the sickness. Shout out to you, bro. But it's on the list. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Holding it down. Shout out to the memes out there. But guys, let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin and see what we got going on. Because as you guys know, Bitcoin's kind of been a little bit lackluster here. As you guys know, price ranges about 90% of the, not 90%, about 80% of the time. And typically we have those impulses and then you get some consolidation, you get another impulse, some consolidation, etc., etc. So here we are in a little bit of consolidation here. I know some people are calling this a bear flag. Could it be a bear flag? Could it be a bear pennant? Potentially, but we're going to dig a little bit deeper in and try to figure out what we're looking for price to do. Are we looking for a bigger break to the downside? Are we looking for a push to the upside to test some very key levels of resistance that we have up here? I think a lot of you guys probably know what we're talking about, especially if you're in the premium Discord. There is a very, very, not a secret level, but a very likely place that if we do get a move up, there's going to be a very key level of resistance we are looking at up here. But what is likely to happen? Are we getting the move down? Are we getting the move up? I'm going to try to break it down all for you guys right now. So starting off, guys, let's come up to the weekly time frame, and I want to do some top-down analysis because I feel like it's been a long time since we've actually started all the way on the weekly and worked our way down these time frames to try to figure out what is happening, right? So taking a look at the weekly here, guys. Obviously, let's pull up Market Cipher B really quickly. Obviously, we do have our red dot confirmed on the weekly, and we have simply not actually seen too much of a move off this red dot on the weekly, right? So this is kind of interesting. VWAP has taken a significant drop to the downside. Money flow is still trending up. However, if we don't get this VWAP to start curving back up, we could be potentially in store for some more downside. Now, coming on over to some of the higher daily time frames, such as the 6-day, kind of looking the same as the weekly. Your 4-day fresh red dot is printing, 5-day red dot confirmed, and then your 3-day red dot is also confirmed. And then your 2-day looks very similar. 2-day money flow actually starting to come out here a little bit. However, if we take a look at the daily, guys, obviously this is kind of what, this is kind of what we were looking at to anticipate that pullback from that macro golden pocket. You guys should know what we're talking about here with that macro golden pocket, obviously pulled from the all-time high to the all-time low of the bear market. And we were looking for a correction or some type of retracement from this level for many different reasons. But one of the major reasons was the fact that it was the golden pocket and the macro value area high of the range. And simply put, guys, if you watch this content ever, you will know I'm a big proponent of the volume profiles, where we simply look to get above those value area lows into the POCs, flip them to support, and get right up to the highs to fill that entire range. And then once you get a rejection from that high, sometimes you can get accepted back into the range to revisit some of those key levels, in which case we could be headed down to that point of control at 34.4, but there is no guarantees, which is why we're going to break down the TA a little bit deeper for you. So obviously we got the rejection, as you would expect, from that value area high golden pocket. However, we are starting to get a little bit of a retracement here, and I want to take a look at some of these local levels. But before we do that, guys, I want to talk about the kind of macro levels of support and resistance. And I want to give you the bearish case and the bullish case. Now, I will say this, guys. If I had to take a blind guess, now I want to be very clear, this is there is definitely a possibility of this being wrong, but if I was forced to try to just completely guess what was going to happen or what I would actually prefer to see happen, what I would really love to happen is whether we get a significant bounce from where we're at now, or if we wind up coming down a little bit lower, which we will cover that scenario in a second. But if we wind up actually getting a push, a bigger push up to the higher prices, right, there is a very key level here. Now, if we are going to get that bounce, where would we be expecting that lower high to come in? Creighton C? I know he knows. Exactly. Shout out to Creighton C. We will be looking for those golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement levels. Dang, Creighton never gets these questions wrong. Shout out to you, bro. But if we pull our Fibonacci from that wick high all the way at about 49K, and we bring it all the way down to the low here, you can see we do have that golden pocket coming in between about 46 and between about 46.4 and about, we'll call it 46. We'll just look at the actual golden pocket to get the actual levels. 46,409 and 46,168. That is our full golden pocket retracement. And as you guys know, if we are going to get a retracement here, the next likely place to put in a lower high would generally be that either golden pocket or that 786 retracement. Now, the reason why I would be open to looking for lower highs to come in to continue our price, our move down to lower prices would be generally because of money flow on these higher time frames. Now, obviously, not impossible for money flow to come come back up here. However, generally speaking, money flow is kind of trending down here, which could be a bearish sign in the medium to long term. Now, coming on over to our 16-hour, things are a little bit wonky. Money flow is coming back up here. We are getting this. We do have this green dot confirmed on the 16-hour. Money flow coming back up. So a little bit wonked out on the money flow here. Same thing on the 12-hour. This is like, but when you're looking at this in the grand scheme of things, we are still generally trending out with the money flow. So unless we really start coming up here and putting in new highs on that money flow wave, we could be looking at this potential money flow coming out on the daily as a bearish sign, right? And if we are going to see, right, remember, the money flow indicates the longer-term trend, guys. So when we see this money flow, if it winds up crossing into the red or if it continues out simply, we could expect this pump, if we do get it, well, again, whether it happens from here or we come lower really quickly to take these lows, we are going to be expecting that lower high to come in somewhere between that golden pocket and 786. 786 is coming in at about $47,435. And that is where we would essentially be looking for the rejection, and the fact that the money flow is coming out is making us potentially anticipate a lower high coming in, right? Because, again, like we can backtest this, but if you ever go ahead and just look at your money flow, typically when it's coming out, the trend continues down, right? These are kind of wonked out money flows. I'll try to find one that's a little bit more clear for us. Let's see. This is kind of a wonked out example as well. But we could do it in the opposite direction, right? Once you start crossing over into the green here, this is letting you know that the longer-term trend is likely to continue to the upside. And what happens? You get the money flow crossover. We break the high, come down, continue our uptrend all the way up to that $49,000 level. So same thing on the way down, right? And we could look at this on lower time frames as well. This is oftentimes how we're able to filter bad trades or kind of front run the idea that we should be looking for shorts, right? And you can see right here, right? We have a money flow crossover into the red right about here. And then what happens, right? We get, this was kind of a very lackluster retracement. We didn't even hit a golden pocket here. But what happens, right? The trend continues to the downside, continuing to put in lower lows, lower highs, etc., right? And then we get a big dump. So again, if that money flow continues out, we are expecting this to be a lackluster pump into this potential retracement zone, right? Again, not really rocket science here. We are just looking for the retracement at that golden pocket 786. And then, there is some confluence up here, guys, if we start pulling some Fibonacci. If we start pulling some of these fixed range volume profiles, you can see the point of control does come right in between that golden pocket in beautiful confluence. So definitely going to be a resistance level to watch if we do wind up getting that move to the upside. So I will mark that out with a purple box. Let's go ahead and get rid of that fixed range volume profile. And then again, obviously, we could potentially come up to that 786. However, if we do wind up, there are some things, right? If we get above this golden pocket and we start attacking the 786 and do not get the rejection, in my opinion, it is going to be a little bit more likely to get a move back to the upside. And then in that case, this is going to be scenario number 2 that we cover. Where are the next 2 main targets I would be looking at if we wind up breaking the high here at about 49,000. And there are very, very clear obstacles once we get above there, right? So with that being said, that is kind of the medium term, right? Again, if we have the, if we wind up getting the move up, this is where I would be looking for the lower high. And then if, that's kind of like that's the bearish, that's the local bullish medium-term bearish case, right? So bullish meaning we could potentially get a move up here. And if we do get that, shout out to the premium Discord because we did get a nice little scalp long entry down here. So that will wind up playing out. However, now I kind of want to talk about the bearish case, right? Like what happens if we come lower? And simply put, guys, we are still looking at this volume profile, pulled throughout this entire area of consolidation. And there is some reasons, there are some reasons why we could potentially come back down and test that value area low. And as you guys know, we have simply not tapped that value area low. We looked at this, I think we looked at this on Monday or even last week. I believe we were looking at or talking about how it is a little bit suspicious that we wound up getting a bounce and coming up, but not fully touching our value area low. And if I pull this, I believe we were further away from it in the beginning. Yeah. So, while we were here on Friday looking at this, you guys can see we did wind up front running that value area low just slightly. And when you look at the laws of the volume profile, or you're thinking about the theory that we use when we're thinking about the volume profile, typically when you lose the value area high, you are looking for a move to the POC and then the value area low. But when you front run it, you want to be careful because in my opinion, I shouldn't say in my opinion, I should say in my experience, it is much more likely to see price come back down and actually tap these levels if you do wind up front running them, right? Same thing with the golden pockets. We've actually stayed out of some really bad trades in the premium Discord based off the idea that the level was front run, right? It gets front ran, and then we're sitting on our hands being like, I think we're probably going to come back down and tap this physically. And then sure enough, price comes down, hits that golden pocket, you get the entry, and then price takes off. So we have to be very careful because we did front run that volume, that value area low. And if we did wind up doing that, guys, there are some very specific things we're looking at down here, and we did look at this on last night's live stream where we were taking a look at that heat map. Let me actually pull up my face cam real quick because I want to pull up my I want to pull up the heat maps real quick. I didn't know if I was going to dox all my personal stuff here. Turns out it opened up on the other screen. So here we are. Let's go ahead and pull up the liquidation heat map. And as you guys know, we have kind of been looking. Let me pull up the 1 month chart. Bada boom. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So as we look, right, down here at about $39,000, we have a significant amount of liquidations. In fact, when we're looking at the 1 month chart here, other than down here at 35K, this is the most significant amount of liquidations, right? Now, we do have some internal liquidity sitting a little bit more local, but this $39,000 level down here is kind of the biggest area of liquidations, right? So this is going to be a big area of interest, in my opinion. And then when we take a look at the chart here, simply put, guys, we have the range lows here, right? And I will just mark this out, right? So we grab our horizontal ray. We have our actual range lows. So you have your value area high and your value area low, but then you actually have your range low down here, which is literally just the lowest part of the range. And oftentimes, when you have these range lows, guys, a lot of liquidity will build up underneath these levels, right? Underneath where a lot of people are long. People are longing here, people are longing here, longing here, longing here, longing here, etc., longing all up in here. And oftentimes, when you're getting into long positions, when you're looking at these ranges, your stop losses are going to go below the last significant swing low, which is right here, which puts a lot of liquidity, meaning stop losses and liquidation levels just below that swing low. So with that being said, and understanding that we can literally see this on the heat map with this kind of concentrated I don't know what to call these, hot blocks of liquidations. As you can see, we can literally visualize this on the liquidation chart, right? So you can even quantify it, right? But what does this mean? This, in my opinion, means that if we wind up deviating from this value area low, and again, we do have some local levels within here, but I'm not really going to go over those today. But if we do get a bigger move to the downside, which that rejection may wind up happening at that point of control, because remember, when you reject that value area high, you're looking to go to the POC and then the low, right? And if you front run that low, potentially you could kind of bing bong around a little bit. If you reject that POC, that might be where you go tap that value area low. But for me, what I would really like to see is a potential breakdown below these lows, right? To come sweep all that liquidity below. Come down here, grab all that liquidity at about $39,000. And as you guys know, we actually do have some significant support levels down here. And it is sitting right, let me pull it up. Where is it? Guys, where'd they go? Local support, right? Hang on, guys. Somebody delete my levels? What is going on? Right here. Bada boom, right into these naked points of control. So in my opinion, right, for the bearish case, if we do get a move back to the downside, we break the value area low, and we come down to target this wick low here, coming in at about 40,181. This is kind of going to be where I would be looking for, I'm not looking for a long on this level, right? Because I'm actually looking to break this level, start stopping people out who are long below here, who have their stop losses and liquidation levels below here, looking for them to get stopped out, creating that push to the downside, adding that selling pressure to the market, because remember, when you get stopped out of a long position, it creates a market sell. This is why you see price push down when you liquidate or stop out a bunch of people, right? And then kind of the nice thing here is once you wind up coming down here, if we do get the move and you liquidate all these people and stop out everyone long from down here, you actually do have this nice little zone of support, right? So this is kind of the next significant level of support that I'm looking at for a potential bounce to the upside. upside. Now, if we start losing this level, that is where I am simply zooming out and looking to come down a little bit lower, probably closer to about the $37,000 levels. Let me see if I can pull up some of those actual levels of support. So we do have a lot of levels down in here, right? But really, in my opinion, the focus or the the concentration of actual support is the next real strong level of support will be coming in at around $37,000, right? So if we wind up coming down here, we liquidate those people, add selling pressure. I am going to look for the bounce here. However, if we continue down, the next level I would be looking at is going to be down here at about $37,075. And then if we wind up losing that level, we could potentially be on our way down to that macro point of control, which again is simply the midpoint of our, let me hide all the TA, is simply the midpoint, or not midpoint, but the point of control of our macro range, right? Value area high, POC, value area low. So this is going to be a very key level as well. And we looked at this on yesterday's live stream. When you pull your fib from this kind of impulse to the upside all the way to the high here, you can see your golden pocket is in pretty good confluence with that point of control, right? So definitely going to be a pretty big level to watch if we continue to the downside. And to be quite honest with you guys, we're kind of far away from that. I'm not necessarily expecting this to happen overnight. However, these are simply put the next support levels I'm looking at and significant levels you guys should be paying attention to. So with that being said, let's talk about if we were to get a break to the upside. What should we be looking at? Are there key levels of resistance above, or are we simply just going to crack the high and yeet to the upside? And the answer is, guys, we still have resistance above, right? And again, really what we're kind of a slave to this money flow on the daily, right? Like if this money flow continues out, guys, in my opinion, it's going to be more likely to put a lower high in here. But let's say we get some kind of bullish news, something happens, and we just wind up cracking the high. The next two major levels of resistance I will be looking at, number one, obviously you want to look at the top of the golden pocket, right? Top of the golden pocket is coming in at about 50,255. So let's say we come up here, we don't get our confirmations at the Fibonacci retracement zone, and we hop above the 786. This is where I'm looking for that high to get taken, in which case I will be looking up towards this golden pocket at about $50,255, right? Now, if we break above this level, there is going to be kind of two major levels I'm looking at. I don't know if I still have it on this chart. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find it. I believe I had it here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? I don't think... maybe I don't have it. But what we could do here is come on over to the Bybit chart, and I will just steal it from the Bybit chart really quickly. And you guys know, obviously, we are looking at the macro volume profile, not only on the Bitstamp chart, but we can also look at it here on the Bybit chart, where we actually have our point of control. I'm sorry, not our point of control, our value area high sitting at about 54,342. Now, this level will move slightly depending on where you wind up pulling your range to. I'm not going to go super into exactly where to pull these ranges from, at least right now, but it is coming in at around $54,000, right? Give or take a few bucks. And then you also have your macro 786, which we can take a look at as well. So I'm going to take this, I will take this level at about... we'll call it about 54K, right? Now, obviously, you're going to want to get the exact levels, but for the sake of saving time here, I'm just going to put it at 54K because remember, guys, typically resistance is not necessarily just a single line of support or resistance. They are oftentimes zones. If you're just, I always recommend, when you're drawing just simple support and resistance, you want to look for a zone, right? Because if you wind up coming up here and you push through the level a little bit, you're going to think you're breaking out. Meanwhile, you may just be hitting some other levels up here before finally rejecting, right? But these are kind of the next key levels, right? So let me go ahead and label this, call it Bybit value area high, and then we will go ahead and the next key level obviously is going to be that 786 coming in at about 57.5. We'll just grab it from here, 57.547. Right, so these are going to be the next two key levels to the upside if we do wind up breaking out. I do believe we have some other significant levels. Is it a daily, weekly? I think we do have a weekly up there. Let me see. Let's see. Let's zoom in real quick. Yeah, so we do have a weekly right here. So let me grab that. So right about here, let me make sure I got that accurate. Right about here at about 50,791. Obviously, you do have just a simple horizontal level of resistance as well. So if we do wind up breaking out, kind of zone of resistance number 1 for me would probably be right here. And then zone number 2 would be between the buy bid value area high as well as the 786. Now, I probably would look at these as 2 separate levels, but these are just the next significant levels to the upside that I would be looking at for rejections. So other than that, guys, kind of hard to pick, which case is more likely to play out. Because if you zoom in, right, we could zoom in a little bit more and take a look at the actual local levels, and you can see we are starting to create a little bit of sideways consolidation here, where we can simply pull our volume profile on this local range, and you can see we are starting to come up to test that POC. So we kind of have a lot going on the chart right now. So for me, personally, the way I'm handling this is I am looking for my scalps within this local price action. But to be quite honest with you guys, plenty of internal trades to be taken here. But I am not necessarily interested in, as you guys know, I like to take the highest probability trades, right? Depending on what I'm doing, sometimes I'll scalp the lower time frames, but that's like a completely different game. But for me, unless you're sitting there on the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 15-minute, scalping these tiny little ranges, guys. For me, the next place that I am significantly interested in a trade is not until we wind up breaking these lows to come lower to look for a new long position, or until we wind up coming up to here to put in a lower high, or break the highs to come up and put in a new all-time high, right? I am not, all the trades that we are taking within here, shout out to the premium Discord, even the long position that we took down here, like I am being very, very careful with this trade, right? It is a simple scalp position, right? We are not looking to hold this up to 100K. We are simply just looking at this as a range trade number 1, right? Looking to ride it up to the value area high potentially. But then if we wind up coming up to that golden pocket, this is probably going to be a big place to be taking profit. Now, I am not saying that you should long Bitcoin right now. I want to be very clear. We got into this trade 2 days ago, I believe, or was it yesterday? I think it was 2 days ago. We got into this trade at a low, right? We're not getting into the trade right now. We got into this trade 2 days ago. The trade opportunity to get the best entry on that trade has come and gone, right? So I want to be very clear. I don't want people thinking like just because we're long in the premium Discord, everyone should go long here. That is not how it works. You will lose your money if you trade like that, right? Because we entered in 2 days ago at a way lower price, right? So I'm not saying that if you entered here and gambled that you would have a chance of coming up higher and making money. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't want anyone kind of taking this the wrong way. But as we continue on, one other thing that kind of makes me think that we could potentially continue up to this golden pocket, right? Or at least the value area high of the range would be the fact that we have now money flow on the 1 hour crossed over into the green. This looks pretty good in my opinion, to be quite honest with you. Other than the fact that we are a little bit overbought here with a red dot printing, money flow is in the green. And on top of that, we just recently confirmed a green dot on the 16-hour. Now, this is not necessarily the setup we like to see with the green dot printing and the money flow crossing over into the green at the same exact time, but sometimes you could still get a significant move up when you see this happen, right? Same thing on the 12-hour. We saw this this also recently confirmed as well, and if you come on down to the 45-minute, we got the crossover into the green. So, again, this is not that perfect perfect long setup or kind of strategy that we like to see with the higher time frame money flow, or higher time frame green dots and the lower time frame money flow crossing over into the green or red at the same time. Not the perfect setup, but in hindsight, if we do get the move up, this money flow on the 1 hour looks pretty bullish, right? In my opinion, right? Even the 2 hour is starting to come back up as well. Not as pretty though, right? And I'm just sinking in my chair, guys. This chair is going to be the death of me. But let's go ahead and continue on. This is essentially what we're looking at, right? And to be quite honest with you guys, not much has changed since yesterday. So if you watched the live stream yesterday, you got most of the Bitcoin TA probably locked down. But for me, other than very, very small scalp positions, I am really not interested in any shorts or longs until we either come up higher for the shorts or come down lower for the longs, right? So until we wind up coming into this zone, I would not be looking for a short, and until we wind up breaking these lows, I would not be looking for any significant long positions. And now you guys have all those key levels of support that we're looking at to the downside, and those key levels of resistance we're looking at to the upside. And again, remember, guys, where is the liquidity sitting, right? And we've done this so many times on the show where we simply look at the heat map, right? And I don't want anyone thinking it's this easy where you just look at the heat map and then, because a lot of people probably think, when you first learn about this, you're probably thinking like, oh my God, look at all the liquidity down here at 33K, I'm going short, and eventually we'll just wind up going down to get that liquidity. That is not necessarily how it works. Sure, these hot spots of liquidation levels will act as a magnet for price, very, very similarly to how a naked point of control will act as a magnet to price, or a CME gaps act as a magnet for price. It's not guaranteed, right? A lot of the CME gaps get filled. We actually did wind up filling the last CME gap that we made this weekend, but there's no guarantee that you're going to wind up seeing these levels get visited. But just remember, the next significant level of liquidity is sitting down here at about 39K. And then below that, getting closer to about 34K, which is a very interesting level as well, because remember that POC is also where all that liquidity is sitting at about 34.4, right? So in my opinion, the next likely targets for Bitcoin, to the upside and the downside, if you want both sides covered. If you're a trader like me and you're going long and short and you're making money going both ways, basically what I would be looking at here, what am I doing? I'm just trying to find a dang price label. There we go. Simply put, next key levels of support are going to be, let's go ahead and pull up the monthly level right about here, right? And then, so for longs, these are the next significant levels, right? Not necessarily to just be looking for longs, but the next significant levels of support are sitting down here. And you also do not want to forget about your, where's the folder? Bada boom. Nope. Where did it go, guys? Where did it go? Right here. And then right here, these naked daily points of control, right? So we do have a lot of levels to be looking at, right? So again, between 39.6 and 38.7, those are your two naked points of control. It's kind of zone of support number one. Second level of support, going to be down here by the monthly level at 37,108. And then if we lose that, simply looking down towards $34,000. And then again, not only does this line up with the liquidations, but it also lines up with our technical horizontal levels. So just keep that in mind. And then to the upside, simply put, next key levels are going to be this zone right here at around 50,500 between the top of the golden pocket and this weekly level right here at about 50,785. And then after that, you have your Bybit value area high and your 786 sitting right here. So those are the next key levels of resistance and support to the upside and the downside. And again, if I had to guess, guys, I will say, in my opinion, if money flow continues out on the daily, I would be much more likely to expect something like that, where you put the lower high somewhere in up here, rather than just absolutely ripping to the upside. But this is not a game of trying to figure out what is going to happen, picking a side, and then just crossing our fingers and screaming Bitcoin's going the way we think it's going to go till we're blue in the face, right? We simply have the key levels on the chart, right? And as we approach these key levels, we analyze the price action to see if we have confirmations to go short, right? Because if it's bullish and we're just going to rip up here and we do not get the confirmations that we're looking for, we could stay out of a bad short trade and then just simply sit on our hands and wait for the next level, which would be the 786. If we don't get the confirmations up here, simply sit on your hands and wait for the next key level, which would simply be right here on this purple box. And then maybe you get the bearish confirmations here, you could look for some scalp shorts. But in my opinion, guys, and just kind of looking at price action here, we have not had any significant cool-offs here. Let me turn off some of these levels, right? Simply put, we have not really seen any significant correction here, right? We've just basically been going up and to the right, which, in my opinion, would make a lot of sense to come out here and wash out some of the longs, right? There's a lot of liquidity. Again, we know the hotspot concentration of liquidity is really sitting down here at about 34 and then up here at about 39, right? But other than that, we have a lot of longs that we're opening up on this way up, right? So it would make a lot of sense to me to finally wash those people out of the market. And that would just be kind of I don't even know if we'll get it, because it almost seems a little too poetic, right? It's almost like, oh, hey, look at all these longs down here. It's almost too obvious, right? But hey, sometimes the market gifts you some predictable price action. So we come up here, put the lower high in, wash out those longs, and whether we get the bounce from higher up or down here at 34.4, obviously we're going to have to reassess price action as we get closer to those levels. Again, it's never a game of just spray and pray, right? We are simply analyzing price and analyzing the price action as Bitcoin gets to these levels, right? Because here's the thing, guys. with these levels, right? Like let's take the macro golden pocket for example, right? While we were coming up here, other than the fact that we had the golden pocket, other than the fact it was a value area high, other than the fact that everyone was super bullish, the news was bullish, everything was bullish, other than all this stuff that was screaming probably going to reject here, in all reality, we could have easily just broken through this level, right? And that's why you have to have a plan for, both scenarios, right? Because we're not stuck to only being able to long. We can long and short. So it doesn't matter which way price goes. That's why I always have an if this, then that statement, because when I wake up in the morning and I see price goes up, I'm like, okay, cool. I can make money on a short, right? And if it goes down and I wake up, I'm like, okay, are we hitting key support? Am I seeing any setups? Because we can make money in both directions. So just keep that in mind. It's always about making sure you have the both ends of the coin covered so you are simply never in a situation where you're unprepared. I can't tell you the last time that I sat down at my desk and was like, oh my God, what's happening? We're dumping, right? Or we're pumping, what's going on? Because when you have the TA, and the level set and you understand where the liquidity is sitting, there's really no surprise, right? Because again, if I were to sit here and I was a perma bull and I just wanted to do it for the clicks and put rocket ships on the thumbnails and keep everybody tuning in, right? And I was just calling for upside, what happens if we dump, right? You're just gonna be like, oh man, like I'm not gonna be able to make money. But no, if we dump, we have an opportunity to make money and we now have a plan for it. So hopefully that helps you guys out and gives you a little bit more clarity on to what is likely to happen here on Bitcoin. Like I said, if I had to put a probability on it, I really think it's a lot more likely to come up, put a lower high in, and continue down. But please understand that does not mean it's going to happen. And it also doesn't mean that if it doesn't happen that we were wrong and we're bad at TA. It just simply means that we can't predict the market. And that's why we prepare in both directions. So there we go, baby. Hopefully that helps you guys out and gives you a little bit more clarity on what we can expect out of the short-term price action as well as that long-term price action. Let's see. Shout out to Chemistry Bro says, I don't know, Frankie, 49,000 down to 41,000 is at least a little significant. Yeah, shout out to Chemistry Bro. This would be, I guess 49. This is somewhat significant, but you have to think, right? Shout out to Chemistry Bro. But yeah, so this is somewhat significant, right? But one thing you have to realize is there is expected profit taking at these key levels, right? This is a gigantic level of resistance. Not only that, it's like a famous level of resistance. You have to think like these levels, especially with all the content creation going on now. Shout out to Trade Made tuning in. What is going on, bro? Good to see you in here. Repping that flag. Let's go. These levels like develop some kind of clout in some way, right? You start seeing stuff like, oh, we're approaching a macro golden pocket. Like sometimes it even goes into the traditional media, right? Like, oh, we're hitting, analysts say that there's a giant level of resistance above. Can we get through, like, they usually call it like a sell wall or something, and which I guess isn't wrong, but, that's basically, these levels are very expected, right? People are anticipating to touch these levels. A lot of people have limit orders set at these levels, right? And then you have a lot of people with the limit orders set at 50K even, and then you have a lot of people who are like, well, I guess everyone probably has their limit order set at 50K. I'm going to put mine at 49K, right? So there is a lot of expected profit taking as well as, a lot of this move down could have been attributed to, we could go ahead and take a look at exo charts and actually confirm if this were the case. However, not only is there profit taking up here, but you have to understand that like a lot of the FOMO, right? Like there's a lot of people FOMO longing. As soon as you start getting that next move up, everyone's anticipating a big breakout. And then a lot of people FOMO long, especially on high leverage, right? And then that could also add to that bigger move to the downside. As we came up here, not only are you going to get people FOMO longing, leaving their liquidity below, adding fuel to the fire or fuel to the move down once we correct. But we also swept some liquidity from above these highs all the way back in 2022. And then again, you also have just the profit taking, the limit orders, all that stuff at these levels are going to contribute to that push to the downside, where for this big, for a more significant correction to come in, really what I'm looking for is to wipe out a lot of the significant liquidity below. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, great point, Chemistry Bro. Definitely, I would consider this, somewhat significant, for sure. 49 to 41K, it's a few grand, right? Definitely not a move to scoff at. But shout out to Chemistry Bro. That kind of like, I would have never talked about that if you did not say that. So shout out to you, bro. Thank you for bringing that up. And let's see here. Bada boom, bada boom. Shout out to the New World Disorder. Says they love to buy my stop losses. I'm too tight, maybe. Shout out to New World Disorder. Potentially, that could be what's going on. You could have a little bit too tight of a stop loss, or you could just be potentially putting it just where everybody else is putting it, and then the people who are looking at the liquidity or the market makers, they know where most people's stop losses are, and then, contrary to popular belief, they don't do this to cause pain, right? Like, they're not like, I'm going to wreck retail, but they do it to fill their larger orders, right? I think there's like this stigma out there that like smart money will hunt out people's stop losses just to cause pain. Now, inevitably, it does cause people pain, but yeah, they're not just doing it to be evil. I mean, granted, they might enjoy it. I don't know. But yeah, they are typically doing it from just to fill their larger limit orders, right? Okay, let's see. I'm half ETH, half BTC, playing it safe. Shout out to Robert. Shout out to you, bro. I think that's not a bad idea. But guys, how long have we been going here? Let's go ahead and move on here, guys, with the altcoins. If you guys want your favorite altcoins, if you want me to take a look at your favorite altcoin, go ahead and spam it in chat. Rob the Crypto Stomp will count up the votes and let us know what alts we're looking at. And I'm going to start off with a couple. Shout out to Hassan, says, shout out to me. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, we are, go ahead and spam those altcoins. I'm going to take a look at XRP. And then I will also, I'll take a look at ETH and XRP. And then, Rob, let's do like, I guess let's do like three altcoins if we can. Okay. And let's see. I think we did get a bunch of super chats. Bear with me here. And yeah, hang on. First off, shout out to Golden. Gifting 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to Golden. You are the absolute GOAT. Every single day, this man comes in here and blesses the Mafia with free memberships. He is the real GOAT. He is the YouTube channel. He is Frankie Candles. I am just the front man. I'm a puppet. Golden is actually Frankie Candles. So shout out to you, bro. Thank you for gifting those memberships. As always, like, you never cease to blow my mind, bro. And shout out to everybody who got a membership. And now you got access to those special emojis. So spam those golden emojis if you got a membership. And shout out to 12 Big says, here we go. Shout out to you shouting out that intro song. 12 Big, Rob the Crypto Stomp always beats me to that. Every single time I try to type in, here we go, as the music starts. And Rob is just too quick on his fingers. Shout out to Retro Mike. I appreciate that super chat. He said, hashtag Golden 2024. I would go ahead and agree with that, bro. Let's vote this man in. Shout out to Golden. And then we got Woody. Shout out to Woody. Thank you for the super chat. Said, could you please look at GLQ if you have time? Plus 71%. Yeah, I could try to take a look at that. Let me go ahead and write it down on my handy dandy post-it note. Here we go. Let's see. What is it? GLQ. And then shout out to Creighton C with the $10 super chat, bro. Shout out to Golden. Thank you so much for that, bro. Golden. Shout out to Creighton C with the gold super chat. Shout out to you, bro. He says, do you smell that? I smell money. The BBB alts. Garbage. Shout out to Creighton. The BBB alts. Garbage. This moves up. Dog. Beep. Meet Nate. He's my quant. My quantitative divergence. He won a local math competition in China. Shout out to Nate Quantum Divergence, by the way. And shout out to Creighton C for shouting out Nate Quantum Divergence. Let's go. Creighton, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Yeah, I talked to Creighton in the Discord DMs, guys. I did go through a bunch of my Discord DMs. As you guys know, you can see when I pull up Discord, it's just like a list of DMs. I knocked out a bunch of those earlier today. And shout out to Creighton. Creighton sent me a really nice message. So shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you more than you know. And shout out to Keenan, Creighton, Golden. Oh my God. Shout out to Keenan. He says, what are your thoughts on Link? I like Link. I mean, listen, here's the thing. If you have a, oh, hey, shout out to, hold up. Shout out to Joseph said, first super chat, what to say? Joseph, I think you nailed it. First super chat. Just let everybody know. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for that. But Keenan, listen, for Link, man, here's my thing. I'm bullish on Link. I do think it'll do well. But, it has everything to do with what is your goal with crypto? As you guys put these alts in, and before we take a look at ETH, or while I load up ETH here, let's talk about that, right? Because it has a lot to do with what is your goal with crypto? How much capital do you have to work with? What is your risk tolerance? How much, what are you investing? Are you putting your life savings into crypto? Now, granted, would it really be advisable to put a majority of your net worth into one single asset, right? Like that's not, you want to diversify, obviously, right? Like investing 101. Diversify, right? Especially in crypto because things go to zero randomly sometimes here. So you want to protect yourself and you don't even want to put all your money on one exchange, right? It's not even just investing. You don't want to dump all your money onto one place, right? Because it could easily disappear. So, depending on how much money you have to invest, I know a lot of people don't have as much money to put in as some others do. And if you don't have a large, significant amount of money, unfortunately, if you want to get, again, like what are you looking to do? Are you looking to make some extra cash? Are you looking to change your life? Are you looking to retire? Like, what is your plan? Are you long-term? Are you in it for just this bull market? Do you want to hold? Like, there's a whole lot of different questions that are really important to look at when trying to answer a question like that. So, Chainlink is likely not going to give us a 50x or a 100x, right? So, people who are not investing a lot of money or may not have a lot of starting capital may want to start looking a little bit deeper down the list of coins, right? You got to go down that market cap list because the higher that market cap is, the harder it is to move that needle. And, I think we actually clipped this and made it a short. It's kind of hard to explain market cap to people because it's hard to compare it to something. Like it's pretty simple to understand, but it's hard to give an analogy for it. And what I like to say is think of it as a snowball, right? Like if you're sitting outside and you're gonna roll a snowball on the ground, you could easily push this thing by yourself, right? And it's gonna grow really fast, right? You just have a little bit of effort goes in. You just have to fling it with your wrist, and it's gonna roll down the hill, and it's gonna grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But as that snowball gets bigger and bigger, eventually you're going to need help pushing it, right? So you're going to need 2 people to push it, and then 3 people, and then eventually it's going to be the size of a school bus. You're going to need 10 people to push it, right? This is how you can think of market cap. The bigger the market cap is, the harder it is to move the asset. That's why you see these altcoins, these meme coins, all these low cap coins go flying. It's because there's very, very, very low market cap, so it's easy to move the needle. So if your market cap is 100,000, you only need $100,000 to 2x, right? So you have to think about that when investing. So I really like Chainlink. I think it will do very well. I just don't know, granted, who knows, but just the fact that it is so high up in that market cap list is going to be a little bit harder to move that needle. So again, if you're looking for a 50 or 100x or these super low, you're going to have to start looking at these lower cap altcoins, which obviously will come with a lot more risk. There's a caveat, right? It's not easy to do. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out, brother. Let's see. Sol may be the outlier to this theory. Shout out to New World Disorder. Let's see. Shout out to Joseph. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I see you, bro. You could just flip-flop the snow for the snow. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Shout out to you guys. Sorry, guys. Woo! Good Lord. I feel better. I'm still trying to cough out the rest of the sickness, though. All right, let's go ahead and continue on, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum as we continue to sit at this value area low. Now, as you guys know, we looked at Ethereum recently, and we were talking about, and again, guys, if you have not, shout out to the mods. If somebody can drop that Ethereum video in the chat. If you guys have not watched this Ethereum, I think the thumbnail says Ethereum about to explode or something like that. If you guys have not seen this video, I highly recommend watching it, right? Because it talks about why I am going to be pretty bullish moving into 2024 on Ethereum, hoping we don't get a black swan and everything nukes, right? Probably not a great choice of words there. But as we continue on, as we are tapping on this value area low, we looked at this yesterday, so I'm not really going to spend too much time on it, but we are approaching this very, very key level of resistance, guys. Once we break above this and hold above that value area low and flip it to support, it's going to be much more likely to get a bigger move up to our next key level, which is between we'll say $3,100 and about $3,183. In my opinion, if we can hold above this level, guys, it is very likely that we fill this range, right? And again, we did this last night, so I don't really want to harp on it too much. But, we looked at this on Bitcoin. The same exact range on Bitcoin is simply sitting right here. And as soon as we wound up tapping our head on this value area low, this is like essentially where Ethereum is, right? And I actually think this is eerily similar because as we approach this previous value area low on Bitcoin, we put in a daily bearish divergence. And then after we confirmed that daily bear div, we actually wound up tapping our head on this a couple of times, breaking above it, breaking below it, kind of just consolidating below before finally flipping it to support. You could see it happen right there on that daily candle. Eventually you just get above it, flip it to support, and then boom, you're off to the POC and then the value area high. And I would expect something very similar to happen here on Ethereum as long as we can wind up holding this as support. And if we're looking at the daily, guys, again, very, very similarly to Bitcoin, as we approached, we wound up putting in a daily bearish divergence, and now we are simply doing the same thing, right? We are kind of just bing-bonging around, tapping our head on this key level, and once we are able to flip it to support, I do think it is going to be very likely to fill that range, just like we thought it would be likely to fill this range on Bitcoin. It's just eerily similar, and the range is even pulled from the exact same area of consolidation between about January and May of 2022. Come back to Ethereum. We are looking at that exact same area between January and May of 2022. Same area of consolidation, right? So there's no reason why if we flip this, we can't see this whole range filled, right? And potentially even higher, which we cover in that video on the YouTube channel. So go check that out if you have not already. Hold up. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob, and shout out to Chemistry Bro, the goatiest of goats. Shout out to you guys. Okay, pinning the comment. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you so much. And Chemistry, you guys are seriously goated, bro. Shout out to the mods. And I'm not leaving anybody out. Shout out Crypto Billy. Shout out to Tyler Durden. They just happen, Rob and Chemistry Bro just happen to be the ones that did it this time. But shout out to you guys. You guys are serious. I can't thank you guys enough. I'd be lost without you guys. So there you guys go. Check out the this link that Chemistry Bro just dropped. That is the Ethereum video. I don't know. Click on it and then go back to it at the end of the stream. But definitely go check that out if you want to see my full thoughts on the Ethereum breakdown. And I think it was Joseph that asked about Chainlink. I think we might drop a little bit of a deep dive on Chainlink sometime this week, or maybe even for some Sunday sauce. So we may do a similar video. We're gonna start doing those on a bunch of different altcoins. So stay tuned for those. Who's this guy Tony? This guy Tony said, "What about me?" Dude, you gotta do something to get recognized as a mod, bro. Who's this Tony? Do you guys know this Tony guy? Who is this Tony guy? I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I'd be lost without Tony D. I think everybody knows that. Shout out to Tony D. He's our other half here, obviously. If you probably know Tony D because he's probably personally helped you do something, get into the Discord, etc. So shout out to Tony D, obviously. But Crypto Billy say, did I hear a goat, Frankie? Yeah, the goats are knocking on the door right now. I locked the door, though. Mrs. Candles, I think, is trying to let them in. As you guys know, my goats will come in here, and sometimes they even make noises. We'll pull up the waiting room, and they'll just be like, bah, bah, in the microphone while we're playing the outro music. It's quite obnoxious, and I gotta wrestle them and put them back in their pen in the backyard. It's a nightmare. Yo, Tony D said, stay out of my announcements channel. Shout out to Tony D. Hey, shout out to Thesis himself. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said, I'm 3 streams away from being goated. Actually, Thesis, we'll goat you right now because we're removing Tony D, and we'll just add you. I'm just kidding, Tony. I'm kidding. Please don't quit. Please don't quit, Tony. I'd be lost without you. I love you, bro. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding, guys. But shout out to Thesis himself. Thesis, let's expedite it. Let's just goat you right now. You're a goat. Shout out to Thesis, man. You guys are crazy. But let's continue on here. Thank you for sharing those links, Chemistry Bro. I really appreciate you. And thank you, Rob, for dropping the altcoin list. So let me just cover the short term here on Ethereum, and then we will move on to XRP. And as you guys know, simply put, not really much has changed here on Ethereum. If we wind up losing this value area low again and we get a little bit more of a break to the downside, simply put, I will be looking down here between about 23.68 and 23.15, where we have the golden pocket value area high confluence. And then once we get below that level, obviously, you're going to have to expect some lower prices as you will be accepted back into this area of balance. And we could expect to come down to the POC. This is a significant level because of the confluence you have with the 786. And then if you lose this, obviously looking down to the value area low for some potential long positions. Not saying we're going down there, but I'm just saying if this than that, right? If we come down, this is what I'm looking for, right? I would really love to get a test of that value area high before coming back in. That would be kind of the perfect scenario in my opinion. But as you guys know, the market very rarely will give you what you want. So be very careful out there. And are we rejecting anything significant here? I don't think we are. I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think we're, Oh, okay. Well, we almost tapped that golden pocket perfectly. But again, even if we continue up here, we got to be careful of that potential rejection from this golden pocket 786 zone, right? And then taking a look at the daily, like remember, money flow actually coming back up here, but until we start making a higher high here, right? So until we wind up basically doing this, this could just be, another lower high before continuing out to the red. So money flow direction is pretty bearish, in my opinion, right, in the short term, which could call for a little bit more of a correction before we get that move up. But we gotta, right now, guys, in this market, it is, recently it's playing level by level, right? You gotta play level by level because again, like the indicators are getting kind of washy. Money flow is kind of bing bonging around. We're just at a point in the market where things are a little bit unclear, right? So you gotta play it level by level. But other than that, that is what we're looking at on Ethereum. And again, go check out that video. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Said flat smack that like button. Crypto Billy said it, not me. Smash that like button, guys. 550 likes is the goal that we're going for. Smash up that like button. Touch it with your butt. Elbow it. Lick it. Kiss it. I don't care what you do. I'm not looking. Creepily fondle it. Like just creepily touch it. I don't care. I'm not looking. I'm not judging. Just do something to that like button as long as it's legal. Shout out to the CandleMafia. I'm kidding, guys. Don't get too weird with the like button. But anyway, shout out to Crypto Billy. And then Rob the Crypto Sob said, Dream Team mods. Dang right, bro. Dang right. But let's go ahead and continue on here. Shout out to Dave Digital. Speaking of mods, and he's our most official mod that we have. He said, Billy Goat Tails, tonight, I'm sure you cleared your schedule, right? Shout out to Dave Digital. Absolutely, guys. Don't forget to check out Billy Goat Tails on X tonight at 9 p.m. I will be there. I won't be able to stick around for the whole time, but I will be there. So come hang out with us. It's going to be a good time. And shout out to Crypto Billy. And then Thesis himself said, make Unify pamp or damp, Frankie, please. Shout out, or he said, please. Shout out to Thesis. Maybe we'll take a look at that tonight. And we will we'll put some juju on it and we'll make it pump or dump. Shout out to Thesis, bro. And then Creighton with another super chat said, sometimes when Frankie talks to Tony, he sounds like he's in sounds like he's I guess he's trying to say answering to his wife and begging her not to leave him. Shout out to Creighton. Like one step away from sending flowers. Tony D, go check your front door. It's just gonna be like a whole display of like but it's not flowers, obviously. It's just like sauce and macaroni and gabagool and ricotta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tony D. We just dropped off a bunch of stuff at your house. Shout out to Creighton C, man. You are insane. All right, let's see. Ian, shout out to Ian. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, I need to record that by you, my new notification tone. Shout out to Ian, getting those GOAT notifications. Let's go. Thank you for the super chat, Ian. I appreciate you as always. Oh, yeah, Chemistry Bro said, and 3D printers and printing filament. Yeah, it's just a pile of printer filament. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. He knows. But let's go ahead and continue on here, guys, and start off with our first altcoin, which is going to be XRP, which is doing nothing since yesterday. So I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on this, guys, because simply put, it looks exactly the same as yesterday, right? Like literally, like what was yesterday? Yesterday was Monday. Yeah, we're just still sitting in the same spot, right? So again, not expecting anything crazy on XRP, like key levels of support and resistance. Key level of resistance above is your doorway to higher prices at that value area low at 62 cents, almost 63 cents, right? So flip this level to support. That's where you're likely to see more upside. And in the grand scheme of things, where we would be targeting would be eventually, once you flip that value area low to support, your next likely spot for price to go is going to be that POC, especially since it is in confluence with our 786 Fibonacci retracement level. And we've seen this happen before, right? You break the value area low, straight to the POC. Where'd you get the rejection? Straight from the POC before the big move to the downside. So simply put, if we want higher prices on XRP, we have to break the doorway to higher prices, which is at 63 cents. If we want to come lower for XRP, we're simply going to have to look to come down below this previous value area high into the range, and then we will likely target our POC of the range, which is sitting at about 50 cents. And, you know, as people like to say, sometimes where it wicks, it goes, right? So we wicked right to that POC perfectly, right to that POC. Are we going to see price fill that wick? Potentially, right? That would be the bearish case. But to get there, you got to break the value area high. So these are the two very, very key levels. Until then, I would simply look for price to kind of respect this sideways range, right? And just kind of bing bong, not only in the volume profile, but just kind of bing bong around these two major levels, right? And we could stick around here for quite some time, unfortunately, and potentially, you know, no guarantees. But daily red dot printing, so maybe we come back down to support. But other than that, nothing really going on XRP, if I'm being quite frank. Shout out to Thesis. He says, why does this guy talk so fast? Mrs. Thesis herself. Shout out to your version of Mrs. Candle's thesis. And Mrs. Thesis herself, the reason I talk this fast, I used to think that I didn't know I talked fast until I moved out of New York, right? Like, once I moved out of New York, people were like, why does this guy talk so fast? But yeah, I think I talk fast because I'm from New York. That's just how we do it. Like, it's crazy. Sometimes, guys, I'll tell you this. So I was at Starbucks, right? And I go to Starbucks. I'm going through the drive-thru. I'll get my black coffee. You know what I'm saying, right? Typical day. And, like, down in the South, guys, they're a little bit slower than they are in New York. So I'm sitting here, and they're like, they're like, hello, you know, they're very nice people, obviously, but they're like, hello, my name's Stacy. What is your name? And I'm just like already ready to spit out my order. I was just like, yeah, black, venti pike black. That's it. But like, you got to tell them your name. Hope you're having a good day. I am. And I'm like, yeah, I just want coffee, man. Like, let's go. What are we doing? We're wasting time here. We're wasting time. But yeah, it's the curse of the New York. Shout out to Thesis herself. Or Mrs. Thesis herself. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. Tony D said a little bit slower. My guy, it took Taco Bell 35 minutes for a $17 order. Shout out to Tony D. Yes, they are very, 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 very slow. It is kind of wild. And the driving is worse. But that's okay. Everything else is 10 times better. But let's go ahead and continue on. You can take me out of New York. You cannot take the New York out of me. But let's go ahead and take a look at our next altcoin, which is going to be, okay. So shout out to, did we ever see if he was in here? Shout out to Mick Longname, I think is his name on Twitter. But he asked, can we take a look at MBLK? No, not on futures. I was like, I don't know if we could do that. Okay, yeah, so magic blocks. Let's check this out. So I don't know what this is. Full disclosure, I have no idea what this is. But we could look at the chart, right? Doesn't matter if we know what it is. We could simply look at the chart. So let's take a look here. So the 4-hour, I will say, is printing a red dot, which is likely to give us a little bit more downside. But what I would look for here, so yeah, this is a little bit rough. This is, let's see. Let's pull a fib here. Let's pull from here to here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's come down to a lower time frame. Yeah, 2-hour red dot confirmed. I assume this is a newer coin. It doesn't look like they're, usually when the candles look like this, it's due to low liquidity. But let's see. Let's put on Heikinashi's. Yeah, I would potentially look. I would look for two things here, right? I would either look, because again, it's kind of hard, just because, let me see. Let's see, MBLK. Yeah, okay, so this looks like this is the most we're going to get. So I would actually, kind of hard to pull a range on this, right? Because there's like no significant, there's like no significant consolidation area, right? It's just kind of a gamble there. Kind of hard, to be honest with you guys. Let's take out the VPVR. Pull up that famous VPVR. Where is it? There it is. What is going on? VPVR. Good Lord, guys. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Well, all right. Easily, we could say this, right? You do not want to lose this low, right? If you lose this low, you could be on your way to about 7 cents. That could be dangerous, right? Because you do have, a lot of we could pull this, right? I would look, this would be a significant level. If you lose this low, you could be coming down to some lower prices, right? Whoops, let me copy this. Or even $6, 6 cents potentially. So these are some significant levels I would look at. However, you could watch this value area high as well. But other than that, if you lose this low, chances are you're going to get a pretty quick move to the downside or a big move to the downside. But other than that, if you are assuming you're not going to break down to these lower prices, what I would look for here is a potential swing failure pattern right here, which you could potentially be getting right now. Let's pull up our regular candles. Yeah. All right. Well, you kind of got one here before you got the reversal to the upside. Now you're kind of, let's see, check that 30-minute. Interesting. Yeah. I will say this. I would not be interested in trading this necessarily. But I will say this. If you lose these lows that you're at right now, chances are things are probably going to get kind of ugly, right? You're probably going to come down to at least this value area high coming in at 7 cents. So there you go. That's what I would be looking at. Other than that, there's not a lot of price history for me to go off of here, right? We have no money flow on the daily. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's hard to analyze, right? 12-hour, the one bullish, one thing you could look at here would be, let me pull. Yeah, one thing you could look for here is potentially, this is kind of hard. Because your macro 786 is sitting all the way down here, right? Kind of near these key levels. But if you were to make it to that 786, this could potentially be a place kind of hard, man. Kind of hard with all this lack of price action. But that's kind of what I would look for. You definitely want to hold these lows. If you wind up losing these lows decisively, look at the drop-off in volume here. Likely going to bring you down to at least 7 cents. So I would be careful. Other than that, you do have some bullish divergences forming here with your lower lows on your price action, right? Higher lows on your momentum waves. But then again, money flow is coming back into the red. So I would be careful. I don't really feel comfortable calling a specific direction on this just because of the lack of information. But I will say these levels are going to be very important, right? Because, again, if you lose this low decisively, you are likely going to see a bigger push to the downside. So you start breaking underneath this level, guys, that is going to be probably going to see that 7 cents level likely. So there you go. Again, I don't know if he's in chat, but he asked for it on Twitter. And we looked at it. So shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you. But let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Thesis. He said, don't forget the new Bitcoin, Unfi or Unfi Prees. Shout out to Thesis. He says, hashtag where it wicks it sticks. Hashtag eventually potentially. Hashtag bing bong. Hashtag Hakanashis are faker. Are faker than yellow X's. Shout out to Thesis. Thesis, you don't believe in Hakanashis? Shout out to you, bro. I will be honest, though. I will say this. People always ask me, Frankie, why do you look at Heikinashi candles? And I simply say, because it's cleaner, right? It just looks nicer, right? It's easier to identify the trend. But I will say this. I probably look at regular candles more than Heikinashis at this point. I can't even really put my finger on why. But the only benefit that you really get from Heikinashi candles is the fact that it looks better, right? There really is no other benefit to it. It takes an average of the actual price, right? So it does calculate a little bit differently. But for the most part, I'm looking at regular candles, Heikinashis, or the bars, right? Which are exactly the same as candles. They just look different, right? But that's for another day. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. And let's see. Crypto Billy said, reminder, flat smack that like button. Creepily fondle it. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I'm not looking or judging. Anyway, let's see. Shout out to Kyle. Says, what happened to Tony? No, Tony. Yeah, Tony. Tony quit. Tony quit to be actually pursue his dancing career. He didn't tell that to many people, but it all came out in the end. He said, I can't help you anymore, man. I have to chase my own dreams. You're a TA guy. I'm a dancer. And hey, I mean, he broke it up. He broke it down in front of me. And as soon as he was done dancing, I was like, dude, honestly, go. You're good, bro. Go do you. I can't hold back this talent. So shout out to Tony D and his dancing career. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on and take a look at Solana, crowd favorite. Bada boom. All right, and I guess we'll just keep shuffling this down the road here because, as you guys know, for me to look for a significant long position, I would rather come down to the value area low. But obviously, we know this is going to be support as well, and it has worked as significant support for not once, not twice, but thrice. You could have gotten some nice scalps off this level. However, for me, I would like to see a bigger breakdown down to that value area low. 786 confluence before finding some bullish confirmations before potentially looking for a long position. But I'm just actually going to go ahead and hide this. But money flow on the 4-hour actually not looking too bad on Solana. VWAP is a little bit wonked out here. I would probably like this to come down and print a red dot and give us a pull to the downside before that money flow crosses over. But just looking at this money flow, 4-hour money flow looks pretty good. 2-hour money flow crossing over into the green. Yeah. Let's check the daily. Daily green dot printing. Interesting, but look at the money flow, guys. This money flow very rarely lies. Now, I have talked many times in the recent past about why you do have to be careful in this specific scenario, especially with Bitcoin, because as you know, in the past, in these very, very bullish moves, oftentimes you can see money flow come pretty deep into the to that zero line, almost crossing over into the red before getting another jump back to the upside. So you got to be a little bit careful on these strong uptrends. However, on Solana, this money flow is pretty clearly coming out. But this green dot may push you back up. But again, there you go. Daily candle confirmed. Money flow ticked back up. But again, even if you came up a lot, we could just generally be trending to the downside, which would be a little bit more bearish in my opinion. So with that being said, if we are going to see price continue to the downside, right? Let me fix that, right? If we're going to see price continue to the downside, I would look for a potential rejection as we deviate above this volume profile. So honestly, guys, I'd be watching this volume profile as my key levels on Solana, right? So you have your golden pocket above. You have your 786 just above that. Bada boom. So there you go. If you get that move up, 786 rejection potentially, golden pocket rejection potentially, and then that also kind of tracks with your volume profiles, right? Because as you deviate above that volume profile or above that value area high, this is where you would look for bearish confirmations to get back into the range and then head back down towards the low. So there you go. That's what I would kind of be looking at. But 4-hour money flow looks kind of nice, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Curving right up. That VWAP coming down is the only thing fighting against you. So I wouldn't be surprised if you locally got to move up here, especially with that confirmed green dot that we literally just confirmed. But money flow crosses over. Could see this actually start moving back to the upside. But I would be careful around this 786 golden pocket. Very similar to Bitcoin, right? If we flip that 786, that's where we're looking to come up to higher prices. But if we come up here and get a rejection, chances are it's a lower high, and that daily money flow, right? If we come up here, get a rejection, that daily money flow is likely going to cross over into the red and give us a bigger trend to the downside. So there you go. Those are the key levels on Solana. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Shout out to Nikki94 Boo. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the another super chat. Shout out to Creighton. Says, wait, Tony has gone all Magic Mike? I'm going to need to borrow your money gun. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's go. You guys just never knew it. Every time I spray the money gun, Tony D's just in the back yo, let's go. Shout out to Tony. Oh, God. I didn't even get to see Tony's reaction to that. But I'm sure he loved it. Too funny, bro. Tony D said, set me free, Frankie. Set me free. Shout out to Tony D. Unbelievable. All right, let's see. Shout out to Trade Mate. Said, pump that like button, everybody. Bump it. Bump it, baby. All right, let's see. Blind Wander says link and shout out to female representative. Shout out to Jessica. Jessica, are you in here? I did not see her, but shout out to Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. You guys all know and love her. Shout out to Jessica. But let's go ahead and take a look at link. ICP's next on the list, but Blind Wanderer said link, so we're looking at link first. Let's go. So here we are, right? Very, 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 very similar to everything else, right? Or at least some of the other altcoins. You can see approaching that value area low, right? Again, very similar to what we saw happen on Bitcoin as we approached a previous value area low. We come up, right? We come up, tap our head, tap our head, tap our head, deviate below the volume profile, get accepted back in towards that value area high. Can we get above that value area low and shoot for the higher prices? Money flow on the daily says no, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Look at that money flow, though. That money flow is flying back to the upside. This is interesting. This is interesting. Money flow flying back up. Yeah, hey, we start making higher highs on this money flow, we could wind up getting back up into this range. But simply put, guys, we have hit key resistance, which is obviously the value area high, maybe golden pocket confluence there. Yeah, so we are rejecting that golden pocket right now. So value area high, golden pocket. Could have been a good place to look for a scalp short. Too late. It's too late. Do not look for the scalp short. You could look for a scalp short, but don't just take it. Yeah, golden pocket hitting that local resistance. However, guys, really, if we start key level of resistance, guys, doorway to higher prices, value area low, 1695. We flip that level, likely going to see some upside for Link, potentially getting us up to the 2257, 2689, and 3159 levels. Could be what we wind up seeing. And then, if we're going to go for these macro golden pocket retracements on the altcoins like we did on Bitcoin, guys, that would bring us to a $36 link, which, again, Bitcoin filled the macro range in last year. Are we going to see Chainlink and the altcoins fill their macro ranges this year? We'll have to see, right? It really depends on what Bitcoin does. But as you deviate from the value area high, this golden pocket would be a very key level to look at. So these are the next targets, in my opinion, or at least like the next local targets, I should say like macro targets if we get a big move to the upside. And there you go, right? Key level of resistance, 1695. But other than that, guys, it's really just the money flow on the daily. Like, we need to have this turn around. Weekly VWAP curving back to the upside. I think that weekly green dot is the thing to give it to you, right? And this is my prediction. Green dot prints, right? Whether we get the move up before that or not, likely that green dot will signal that we are bullish enough to get the move. I think we shoot up to that first target at about 2257 before potentially putting in a macro bearish divergence on the weekly time frame to give us a bigger move to the downside. Potentially. Just a possibility. So that is what I would be looking at on Chainlink. All right, let's go ahead and move on to ICP, which is our last altcoin, except for Thesis's altcoin. Unfi. How do we say that one? Thesis. How do we say that? Is it Unfi? Is it Unfi? Am I a boomer? What is going on? Let's see. Okay. Shout out to Moon Boop Boy. I will take that advice. But anyway, let's continue on. Take a look at ICP on Coinbase. Here we are. I actually don't think this is the chart that we were looking at, but it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's all basically the same levels, right? So obviously, as we were approaching this key level of resistance, guys, we were looking for that daily bearish divergence before we were looking for a pull to the downside. But let's pull up our actual chart, which is right here. Now, this is what I'm hoping for on Ethereum, right? I don't know if we're going to get it. However, we came up. Higher highs on our price action, lower highs on the momentum waves, money flow trending to the downside, got a little bit of a correction to the downside to test that previous value area high before coming back up. Now, again, this daily money flow is very unpredictable right now because it's coming back up. And if we break these highs, it would be very, very, very bullish in my opinion. Shout out to Blind Wander says, thanks, brother. Your last analysis worked a few months ago. You said it's going to hit $17, and it did exactly that. Unfortunately, I didn't have money at the time to long while I was at while it was still at $5. Well, shout out to Blind Wander. Let's go, bro. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Getting those predictions to come true. That is the goal here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Although we don't get it 100% of the time, we are right way more than we're wrong. Can't promise you a 100% hit rate, but we could definitely promise you we're right more than we're wrong. Let's see. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Said, ate some beans and potatoes. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Most interesting combo. You can't fool me. You can't tell me otherwise. I'm not saying it wouldn't be good. I don't think I've ever had it. It was probably delicious. But I would never think to mix that. Mrs. Candles. We're having beans and potatoes tonight, guys. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Let's go. Is it good? It's probably good. I don't think I've ever had it, though. Let's see. Twerk Token. Yo, you guys are funny. He said it's a very British thing, Frankie. Baked potato with baked beans on top. That doesn't sound bad, man. That sounds pretty good in my opinion. I like baked potatoes and I like baked beans. Let's put them together. I mean, I'm sending Mrs. Candles to the grocery store right now, guys. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I got to try that. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. That sounds good. All right, let's see. You guys are funny. You guys are cracking me up. Creighton said it's bland AF. So funny, bro. Okay, let's continue on. Let's take a look at Unfi or Unfi or whatever the heck we call this thing. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, here we are. That is that looks old. This looks old too. This looks really old. Where's our actual, is it MEXC? No. Should we start a new chart? No, that's the Bitcoin pair. All right, I guess we'll start a new chart. Let's take a look at the Binance, and we'll just clear it. Okay, so taking a look at the daily. This thing just likes to range. It's basically ranged since 2021. Let's see. Bada boom. Whoops. Bada boom. Yeah, I mean, you're essentially got like just a gigantic range here. But let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the weekly. VWAP coming up. That is somewhat of a good sign. 3-day. Green dot confirmed. 2-day kind of bland. 16-hour money flow crossover into the green. That's a good sign. 12. Let's see. All right, let's pull some. I'm gonna do the local TA on this because I assume that's probably what Thesis wants. All right, let's see. Come on, boom, boom, boom. Okay. So, yeah, this money flow looks gross, bro. I hate this money flow. Very hard to interpret. Okay, red dot printed on your 90-minute. Yeah, just like bing bonging around. So what I like to do here. Yeah, what I would like to do here is daily V. Oh, God, man, this thing is ugly. I think. Dang, man. Shout out to Thesis. Bro, I see why you wanted me to look at this. This is kind of sketch. 16-hour and 12-hour money flow is bullish, right? Like, and it actually looks pretty good because we spent a significant amount of time in the red here. And then like ever since this like lower high, you know, we basically were going down for a week and we've basically come up for a week, right? So we do have bull divs confirmed, right? You have the daily bull div. No, you don't. Of course you don't. That would be too easy. All right. So 12-hour bull div confirmed money flow coming up. You could continue up here, in my opinion. I will say this. The medium time frames are very, very, very confusing looking. But if this 12-hour and 16-hour bull div with money, oftentimes, guys, here's some sauce, right? Oftentimes, when you have these higher lows on your price action, right, with lower lows on your momentum waves, with money flow coming up at the same time in agreement, this oftentimes will mark a significant bottom, right? Now, did we hit a key level of support is the question, and the answer is yes, right? You put it in right at that 786, right, and you closed above it. So you could wind up seeing a continuation to the upside based off that analysis, and you are deviating. So if we get rid of all this, you have deviated below your macro volume profile, right? High, low, high, deviation, low, POC, deviation. Looking to flip this value area low to support right now. If you can hold support right here, here it is, thesis. If you hold support right on $6.38, right? If you're able to hold this as support, this is, in my opinion, your doorway to higher prices, right? And why do I say that? Well, number one, it's your value area low. That's obvious, right? But on top of that, you do actually have a significantly quick move down here, right? Which could give you that quick move up to our next highest volume node. And remember, the highest volume node is typically what acts as a magnet. So just like your POCs, right? So if we continue up, chances are, and just based off the volume profiles, you get above the value area low, hold it as support, chances are you're going to go to the POC. So there you go. But let's go ahead and pull it to this high. Yeah. So this is what I would look for. Now there is really no, yeah, I mean, I would also like to take this low. If you take this low, it's kind of hard to say, man. This is a chopped up chart, to be honest. So this is what I would look for. There's really no, like, serious entry signal here, right? Like, this is just, yeah, ugly, man. This is ugly price action. Very hard to read. But yeah, if you're able to hold above this, there's really no clear entry signal, if I'm being honest with you. But if you do wind up holding here, could continue to the upside, fly through your low volume gap, and start getting attracted towards that POC golden pocket confluence, which would be the next major target, in my opinion, right? So potentially, if you could find a confirmation here to go long, I would look to target that up to the golden pocket POC. And then if you can't hold this low and you lose it, I would probably be looking to, yeah, I would preferably take this external low down here. That's what I would like to see. Right, come on, right there, right? It's kind of a long shot, right? Like, we're pretty far away from that. It's 24% down. But yeah, that's what I would look for. Really, you want to hold above this value area low, target being the golden pocket. But again, I'm not saying long it. I'm just saying if you could find some kind of a long entry here, like on a lower time frame, right? So what I would do, right, just to spit some sauce here, what I would do is pull your local profile, right? And then maybe you could come down, deviate below your value area low here, look for the long position, and then really you would treat this as a scalp, targeting the POC and the value area high of the range. And then at that point, by the time you're looking to move your stop loss into profit, you could be flipping this value area low to support to begin that bigger move to the upside. So that's kind of what I would look at to enter. I would be looking at this lower time frame range and trying to decipher. I would actually probably pull it right here, right? So that is kind of what I would look for. So shout out to Thesis. Hopefully that helps you out, bro. That is a nasty chart. I do not like that chart at all. But with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time. Wait, hang on. Thesis said, much love, bro. Gracias. Shout out to you, bro. And shout out to the Mrs. Thesis. But yeah, dude, I wish I could do better for you, man. Like, I feel like I don't want to let you down. But yeah, it's a chopped up chart. Yeah, that's a rough one. But shout out to Thesis. I tried my best. But yeah, shout out to you guys. That is all the time we got for tonight's live stream, guys. But we have a bunch of spins to do on this wheel of pain and pleasure. So let's go ahead and pull up that wheel of pain and pleasure. Here we go. Whoops. There we go. Bada boom. Bada bing. Shout out to Work Token. It says, join us, Mark. We're all twerking. Shout out to Work. Shout out to Work Token. I think it should be Twerk Token. Shout out to you, bro. But let's see. Okay, let's continue on. Oh, baby. All right. Bada boom. Let's spin this thing. Shout out to Dark Crash. Said, don't forget to drink water, guys. Speaking of drinking water, I have now wasted the Starbucks that I was talking about when the lady was asking me how I was doing. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I like that you ask how I'm doing. It's very polite. But I'm from New York, so I can't answer you. I have to get stuff done. Shout out to the girl at Starbucks. She's very nice to me. She's very nice. I feel like she does feel rushed when I drive through. She can like feel my angst. Hi, my name's Krista, and what is yours? Yeah, just Grande Pike. You don't need to put a name on it. Just make the coffee and hand it out the window to me. Thank you. I'm just kidding, guys. All right, let's see. Shout out to the Chemistry Bro. Said, dang, water. I've drank none today. So thanked. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Actually drank a significant amount of water today. I'm not going to lie, guys. Some hydrogen water. I chugged like 3 bottles of hydrogen water today. Shout out to Lost Prophet. Said, Frankie, what's up? Lost Prophet. I'm lost without you, bro. But shout out to you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, man. There we go. Give him a giveaway, baby. Let's get it. Elite Ways says, I don't think you finished ICP. Elite Ways. I wish I could like confidently say you're like, no, I finished it, but I can't. So we'll go back. Did I just like leave ICP? It's definitely possible. Let's see. Just like I just ditched the wheel. Did we just ditch ICP? We may have. Let's finish spinning the wheel, and then we'll get back to ICP. Shout out to Elite Ways. Let's see. I usually drink like 2 to 3 liters of water, but just a busy day. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. That is an elite amount of water, bro. That is an elite amount of water. Shout out to the Biomex. Said she's thirsty for the Cavs, not open for business. This is Mrs. Candles, man. Shout out to the Biomex. And listen, I am Mrs. Candles, man. Biomex. Shout out to you. But I will show a little skin for chat. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Trade Mate said you spent too much time on ICP. Shout out to Elite Ways. Bro, I appreciate you for being here, bro. Elite Ways is the man. Let's see. Trade Mate said you spent too much time on ICP. Let's see. Been a while since we had a Mrs. Candle sniff. Hand sniff. I don't know if Mrs. Candle's Mrs. Candles! She's not gonna hear me. She's like on the other side of the earth right now. Mrs. Candles! I'm gonna get beat for that later. She's not coming on purpose. She's like, I am not your property. You can't call me like that. I'm kidding. She's probably gonna come up here. Actually, I don't know where she is. She might be feeding the goats, guys. She might be feeding the goats. Let's see. Let's give her a sniff. Shout out to Creighton. My GF doesn't come when I call either, and she wonders why I love my dog more. Shout out to I'm My Hero. Oh God, guys, should I get a dog? Hang on. Should I get a dog, guys? You guys may be able to. Okay. So 59% of the people think we're gonna pamp. Let's go. Mafia thinks we're pamping. I love it. Should I get a dog? And more importantly, let me know in chat. Does anybody in the chat have a GSP? And if you don't know what a GSP is, you probably don't have one. Chemistry Bro says yes. I want a dog so much. I want a dog so bad. Actually, Mrs. Candles wants one worse than I do. The only thing that makes me a little iffy on getting a dog right now is I want to make sure if I have a dog, I can give it the best life possible. And I'm a very, very busy man right now, and likely going to be traveling a lot in the next couple of years. And I hate to leave my little pupper behind. And a GSP, or a German short-haired pointer, is a very high-maintenance dog. This is not a dog that you could just like bring on a plane with you, or even bring in a car with you, because they are like one of the most hyper breeds that you could have. They're working dogs. I got 4 golden retrievers and 2 little dogs. Shout out to 12 Big. Let's go, bro. Poll is missing a cat option. Shout out to cats. I am a cat. I'm not a cat guy. I like cats. I'm not one of those dog people that just absolutely hates cats. I like cats too, but I'm definitely not a cat person. I am a dog person. But Tony D's cat is basically a dog in a cat's body, which is very strange. I've only met like one other cat that I had in my life that acted as much as like a dog as Tony D's cat. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Blind Wander. Said, Google GSP and got George St. Pierre. Too funny. A German short hair pointer is what I was referring to. Let's see. I have 2 chickens and 1 goat. Yeah, I'm all petered out on goats. I've got too many goats. I'm just kidding, guys. I mean, they did get airdropped into my backyard, but let's see. I like turtles. Shout out to Dark Crash. Shout out to Panda Punch said get it. Okay, so 78% of people say I should get a dog. Well, teach your goats to backflip. Yo, that's why I like goats. Have you ever seen by the way, guys, I'm just spinning this 20 times because we have less than 20 spins to do, but I owe a bunch of spins, so I'm just going to over-deliver and we'll spin it 20 times, even though it's probably closer to like 13. Unless the mods tell me I have to spin it 40 times, then they're probably right and I'm wrong. I got 3 chihuahuas and a bull terrier and a wife. Shout out to Moon Boot Boy. Let's go. Let's see. Have you ever seen the goat tree or the goat tower? If not, then Google them right now. All right, Ken, bro. All right, I'll do it. I ain't scared. I mean, I'm definitely going to do it and then maybe show it after I watch it. Goat tree? I know Chemistry Bro would never set me up for failure here, so I could guarantee you that it's a legit thing. But goat tree sounds like it could be a weird Google. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Just Google images. Okay. When only calves for coffee. Hey, shout out to the Biomex. Hey, we doing only calves? And then I'll never have to pay for Starbucks again. Shout out to the Biomex. And shout out to Dave Digital for the super chat. He said, Frankie, Frankie, check Discord right now. Meet GSP Diesel. Shout out to Dave Digital. Do you have a GSP, bro? Dave, if you have a German short hair, bro, we may be long lost brothers. But guys, with all that being said, let's see how many giveaways we got here. Stick around for the Frankie fake out if you want to see a goat tree. Oh wait, hang on, we got one more spin here. Hang on. Oh, yes, I have seen this. Bro. I have seen this. And, bro, this is why goats are my favorite animals. This is literally why goats are my favorite animals. This is like, I didn't care about goats at all. Wow, I picked the lowest res image I could find. I didn't care about goats at all until I saw this picture and I saw videos of goats. Like, goats just like to do parkour, guys. Look at these things. They're just chilling in a tree. That's not photoshopped. They are fearless. Goats are fearless, guys. They just stand. Look up goats doing parkour. And it's the funniest thing in the world. They just like, and then just like jump off the wall. It's the craziest thing ever, and that's when goats became my favorite animal. So shout out to the goats out there. Whether you're human or animal, shout out to all the goats. And let's count up our giveaways here. We got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 20 giveaways. That's a 50% hit rate. Not the best, but add that to the giveaway mods. And with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us here on the live stream. Bitcoin, guys, we're going to have to check in on Bitcoin. Like I said, you got the key levels of support. You got the key levels of resistance. And now the real question is, what is this daily money flow going to do? Are we going to get the dump? Are we going to get the pump? But now you guys are prepared no matter what happens. And if you don't know what a goat tree is, now you do. So shout out to Chemistry Bro. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, hopefully with more exciting price action, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Shout out to the Mafia, and shout out to all the goats out there. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bye! Bing bong!
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo. Watch how I set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch how I get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's. I gotta get a no call and quits. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
Hold up. Shout out to Dave Digital. Dave, is this your pup, dude? Hang on. Guys, shout out to Dave Digital. Dude, question. Number one, is this your dog? Number two, is this a wire hair pointer? A German wired hair pointer? Is that a thing? I know there's a lot of different like variations of short hairs. There's like short hairs, and then there's like Vizslas, which are basically short hairs, but they're brown. They are technically a little bit different. But what is this, Dave? Shout out to this good boy or good girl. I can't tell. But shout out to this good old pup here. Hopefully this is Dave's dog. Dude, if this is your dog, you might be my long-lost brother, bro. But it does say 77% of people say I should get a dog. And having the pupper look at me in the face like this is making me want to get a dog right now. So, guys, I'm off to the puppy store. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't get my dog from a puppy store. I would go to a breeder. But anyway, with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Shout out to Dave Digital's dog. I think that's Dave's dog. And shout out to Nate Anderson as well. Nate Anderson's got a cute little pup too. Shout out to you, bro. Look at that. Shout out to this good boy. Yo, dude, dogs are the best, bro. Dogs are the absolute best. So now I'm going to go spend the rest of the night looking through the four-legged friend, the Mafia Pets channel in the Discord. Actually, hang on. Should we feature some Mafia Pets real quick? Hold up. Let's feature these guys. Bada boom. Shout out to B. I don't know exactly. I can't see the full Discord name, so I can't shout out to people specifically. But there's a Mafia good boy. Let's see. Let's scroll up a little bit. Oh, look at this. Shout out to Alexandra G. Yo, let's go. She's got dressed up pups. Look at this. We got a taco and a superhero, I think. Batman. Looks like Batman and a taco? Oh, no. Batman and Robin, clearly. Shout out to Alexandra G. Cute pups. Let's see. Shout out to Tony D. Shout out to Tony D. We gotta shout out the kitties, too. Shout out to the cats. Look at this guy chilling in the background, just lurking. Look at that. They're too cute. All right, let's see. And shout out to B in Discord, guys. Not sure how you got around these laws, but he's got a dang gorilla or an orangutan or a chimpanzee. I don't know what the heck that is. But shout out to you guys. But with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Shout out to all the Mafia Pets. Animals are always our better half. And shout out to Joey Dosa Crypto. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for getting that Wise Guy membership. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Go check out Billy Goat Tales on Twitter at 9 p.m. I will be there. Come hang out with us. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Set that reminder and meet us in there at 9. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, man, we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to